Hey guys, Titanfall number 2. Second Titanfall video. Let's do it.
Okay.
Kick us off, James.
Okay.
Boom.
So we're going to take this slightly differently from the previous video. So instead of it being first impressions of Titanfall and what we like about it, it's going to be more of how do you go about playing Titanfall? What's the difference between this and COD? Why do we like this?
Or at least how we
does
play it at the moment.
How does it work? General ways to go about it. You know, it's fair to say that it's fairly similar to COD in many respects.
At the end of the day, an FPS is an FPS.
It's an FPS. I mean, you know, they have quirks, they have different things, but like you said, they are FPSs, they have weapons, and you're trying to shoot other people in multiplayer. So I guess the first thing to say is that you're obviously really trying to focus on the players. So not only do you want to ignore the grunts and the spectres, not only because they don't add to your score, but actually when you're running around, if they're shooting at you, you know what, you just let them shoot at you.
Certainly in a game like Mark for Death, where you win by killing pilots.
I mean, at the end of the day, if you shoot a spectre, you're going to get 30 points, you've killed a spectre, it's added nothing to your total, and it shows the enemy where you are.
All it's going to do is bring your Titan in quicker. But
a little bit.
You don't really
it's basically useless. Unless you're going to lob a nade and kill like 3 or 4 of them, then it might be worthwhile to get your Titanfall a bit faster, but otherwise, it's basically irrelevant.
Or if you're bored.
Exactly.
I often do it if I'm just bored, to be honest.
Fair dues. So, I mean, the key really is to run around on the outside of the map and flank and get around the back of people like you would in COD. You have to, you know, get around them in ways that they wouldn't expect.
That's what this game is really all about. It's so positional.
Exactly.
You've got to get in the spots where you can really dick on people from behind.
So, like here, I'm sitting in a little building, and you know, these people have to come and get me. It's up to them to kill me because I've got a nice field of view. I can see lots of people. I can see them on my mini-map, and you know what? If they're out in the open, I'm going to kill them.
Don't put yourself in a position where someone can easily flank you.
Yeah.
Really don't.
Yeah, I mean, that's the ultimate thing that you're trying to avoid, I guess.
And when you are moving about, I would really advise running along the walls, moving about as much as you can. Make yourself real difficult.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's just sensible play. And I guess it alludes to the fact that, like, you know, I've got a 13 for 1 in this game. That's decent. You know, people will do better, but at the end of the day, that's a decent score.
That's a good score at Mark for Death, where the game doesn't last that long. No. I think this is only like a 6-minute video.
You know, I kill a few of the people that are marked. It's like, you know, it's a solid game. And so I do feel that although I'm obviously not going to be by far and away the most qualified person to talk about it, at least, you know, clearly what I'm doing works for me.
Yeah.
And so if it can help you, then great. And if it doesn't, then tell me I'm a douchebag and why I'm a douchebag, please.
So the next thing I would say is, I think this is what helped you out here. Keep an eye on your minimap.
Absolutely.
Big time. I mean, it sounds kind of obvious.
I mean, it sounds obvious, but it's much more useful than in COD. When you see that big orange blob, you pay attention to that big orange blob. You know, I mean, it just goes without saying. But
Fuck
actually,
the blobs.
It's very easy.
Blobs are there to be fucked.
It's also very easy to concentrate on the small little blobs for spectres and whatever. Whereas actually, you're only ever looking for the big blobs. Everything else is irrelevant.
Yeah, don't get seduced by all the red little arrows.
They're just there to distract you. And if you can somehow make your brain think, actually, those are irrelevant, don't even look at them, don't consider them to be a thing, then you'll probably do a lot better.
Something that I often do, I don't know whether I'd recommend this, I often stick with my grunts. Because I know the enemy team will
get confused.
Yeah.
It kind of works. It's a bit slow and a bit boring, but it certainly works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I quite often think when I'm marked and I start off at the start, I will follow the line of 20 grunts running somewhere.
I also really like what you're doing here with your Titan. You're not just like blundering in, which I think lots of people fall into the habit of doing. You're being quite tactical about it. These guys really can't get to you.
Yeah, I mean, unless they're auto Titans, Titans kill other Titans very easily.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, it's very difficult.
So you can't just wander in. You've got to play a Titan like you would play a normal player, really.
Well, exactly.
You've got to be tactical about it.
I mean, at the end of the day, yeah. I mean, the Titans aren't far off. When you're fighting another Titan, it is pretty much a one-on-one in that sense. And even if you win, the chances are you're not going to be left with a lot of health. So you've got to play it tactically, as you should, you know, in any case. I mean, they are no different. You don't get them all that often, unless you're playing obscenely well. So you've just, you know, you've got to use it as a kill streak like you would from COD.
I think the overarching theme in, you know, Titanfall tactics and gameplay and you know how you get a good score is movement.
Oh yeah.
This game is all about how you move. You know, where you position yourself, how you move from place to place. That's how you're going to get the good scores. And if you notice, Tiger Turtle he's literally just staying in this area. He's not camping by any manner of means. I mean, he's moving about a little bit now, but he really hasn't been running around in the open spaces or anything like that, so people can pick him off. He's been picking off everyone else that has been foolish to run around.
That's the key. It's like in COD again, you're kind of facing up against people and you're moving around a lot more. In this, you want to dominate an area.
But this is exactly what we're talking about. This
you know,
is really good.
I've put myself in a position where I can see basically the entirety of the map. I know where the mark is. I know if I'm the mark, then I can quickly escape somewhere, and that's a really nice position to be in. If the mark comes across you, you get a free kill. I would also advise that actually running specifically after marks in some situations is not a good thing.
Definitely not a good idea.
Because if they've got an area camped down, like quite often when I'm the mark, I'll sit at the back of the map somewhere, and when people come to get me, I'll just pick them off.
And they've got the radar. They can see everyone.
Exactly. So,
Don't forget
you're
that.
actually at a natural disadvantage to the person that's marked. Although you can see where they are, it really doesn't mean
You want
much.
to try and pick the mark people off. Don't
Yeah, you want to
run after
like
them.
this guy. You want to see him running away from a Titan,
just like that.
and then run into your path.
Just
I mean,
like
that's
that.
fantastic. You want to position yourself in a way that they basically have to come to you, and then you can pick them off, and that's
And the
that's
game
what
is
you're trying
won.
to achieve. So
And then you hunt down the enemy as they try to escape.
indeed,
And I really do like that feature.
It's
I think
very
that's,
cool
it's really cool.
it just makes it's just nice. Instead of the game just ending and you being like, "Yep, there we go." It's just it's a bit of fun.
That's fun.
And I think a lot of games are missing a bit of fun these days.
Absolutely.
I know that sounds ridiculous because we play games. To
Oh
have
no,
fun,
I know exactly what you mean.
They are missing a bit of soul and a bit of fun. Assist. Oh,
Oh, I can't believe that. That is horrendous. You hate to see it.
you do. But anyway, I mean, it's a good game. It's
Yeah.
nice. I think it's got a lot of potential.
It does. I think we'll probably post a few more videos on how to play different game types, perhaps, like capture the flag, attrition, all that kind of stuff. This was Marked for Death. I hope we helped you guys.
Or if we didn't, please tell us.
Please tell us, yep. And the game's just about over. There we go, 13 for 1. Anyway, this is the end of our video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you guys later.
Thanks for watching.